But part one, I I see that as um, the things that are happening in the beginning half of last year, even to the middle of last year, in 2020. But see, I personally think that even Dana um, misread a certain part. Now, just because he saw all the things that he saw, it doesn't mean that he necessarily understood them correctly as far as when these things would actually occur. See, God's timeline it's often tricky to understand. Kids interrupted me again. This time, one of my boys. It happens a lot around here. That's what happens when you have 6 kids. It's kind of hard to record videos at home during the day. I apologize, but I'll try to start off exactly where I was. But basically, when we're talking about um, understanding God's timeline, uh, it's a difficult, daunting task. Um, just like the parables in the scriptures, it's not always as it appears on the surface. It's something that takes the Holy Spirit to understand. There's several parables in the scriptures that you can read it one way, but it means something totally different, because that's how God works. He speaks in parables. Very often, that's how God works. And it's just like his timeline. We might evaluate something on the surface and assume that we understand his timeline. And speaking from experience on this matter, it's often different than what we think. I'm not going to say that I've always been spot on timelines, because the truth is I'm not always spot on timelines. God's time is different than our time. And if he doesn't give you a specific date, which that's not a very common thing at all, then you can't assume that it's going to happen the way that you've understood. Now, when Dana's night vision, he had said part 2. In one of those visions, he said part 2, and then he saw the things that happened. He had a few different night visions of things that were coming, and they dealt with election stuff. November and December and January, he saw all these things happening. But a key word in there was part 2. I don't believe part 2 was meant for 2020, as Dana was thinking. He was thinking that, and the way he perceived it, the way he portrayed it, is that it was for 2020. But quite honestly, I think that is more meant probably for this year. Now, I won't say that for sure, but that's kind of how I've evaluated it. And when you look at things that are happening today, that really could be a possibility. And also, when you take in consideration that we saw elections happening in one of his night visions, and when you look at the fact that there was a clock spinning around and around in forward motion, and then it suddenly reversed, as to say that things that were done will be undone, if you get what I mean. That clock, to me, is a very powerful symbol in showing that all this stuff that's happened concerning this little takeover and the fraudulent, uh, you know, November deal, it's going to be reversed. That's what I see. But as a result, all chaos is going to break loose, and that's where we're going to start seeing all those other things happen, like the mass protest. And and let's face it, they're going to push this whole COVID thing more and more, probably in line with all the stuff that is going to happen with these election things. Because there's going to be lots of distraction plots. I mean, we're already under heavy attack from different things like the cyber warfare stuff that's going on, and I mean, let's face it, when evil begins to be exposed and the frauds begin to be uncovered more and more, that there's going to be more chaotic things pushed to try to distract from things that are going on, and I foresee that there's going to end up being Cuba-like situations in America before you know it, because these people that are trying to push their communistic idolatry and trying to take over this nation, they're not going to go down without a fight either. They're all in. They're all in on this. So, guys, we got to be ready. You got to stay awake. You got to stay prepped. And most of all, you need to be spiritually fit, spiritually ready. Because the things that are going to happen, they're not going to be easy to deal with in a human nature. You need to be ready. You need to be in a good spiritual mindset. Say, when these things happen, you're going to be in a spiritual position that will help you to do the right things. 1 second. I apologize. Yeah, you probably heard kids knocking for a little while there. I asked them to stop interrupting the videos, and I guess they were... I let them know I'm trying to get a video done here, and they keep interrupting. But so they were trying to quietly knock, I guess. Anyhow, so basically, what I was getting at is these guys, they're not gonna go down without a fight, and not to mention all the people that are manipulated by the mainstream and by these fraudulent people in office. You got all these people that are basically under their spells, under their control, and they're gonna also take side with these infiltrators, and they're gonna try to do everything they can to raise heck. I mean, that's how these guys, that's how they are. They get violent. They get out of control. They begin burning things and looting things any chance they get. Anytime that they think that somebody wronged them somehow, all of a sudden they decide to go crazy, off the deep end. And these people in power on the side that is not working for our nation, they don't do a dang thing about it. They let the people cause chaos. That's what they want. They might come on video once in a while and pretend like they somehow care about this nation, but they're always twisting the truth. They're always twisting things. And so, guys, we got to be ready for and all heck break loose kind of thing. And that's why I'm saying, more so than just being ready, more so than just being ready as far as all your preps go, you really truly need to be spiritually ready. Because I don't think any of us understand just how bad it's going to get. We haven't been in a situation like that. Most of us have never tasted the kind of things that are coming down the pipe. And all you really get right now is these little glimpses of what it can be like. I mean, if you look at some old like World War II and World War I documentaries and stuff, you can get a good idea of how it is. Videos can paint a pretty good picture, and even the modern stuff we're seeing right now with Cuba and South Africa, if you've looked into any of those, you can see kind of how chaotic it gets. But in America, we haven't, most of us have not actually been through that, and it's kind of hard to comprehend, right? So I'm just trying to stress it, guys. Be ready. Be in the right mindset to endure this kind of stuff. Don't think that it can't or won't happen. Right now, we're in a critical spot. We're in a very dangerous zone. If I was gonna look at it, if I was gonna, try to rate it on a scale, like say we have a meter in front of us here, and it has it has a red danger line in there. I would say that we're basically at the max of that right now. That it's going past that. When you get to that point where the meter, it won't go any further. That's pretty much how I see our nation right now. Is it's ready to blow, guys. So I'm just saying, be ready. Okay? Be ready. Especially spiritually ready to deal with the things that are coming, to handle the things that are coming. Really, you got to trust in the Lord. Because there might be things that you have to do, bridges you have to cross, that might seem terrifying. You might not know what to do. But with the leading of the Holy Spirit, you'll get through it. And no matter what, you got to trust in the Lord. And as the Bible tells us, as the scriptures tell us, the times that are ahead, there will be much loss of life. There will be a lot of terrifying things that will happen. But if you are spiritually braced, if you are right with the Lord and you are looking to Him for your guidance, there's nothing that you can't do. There's nothing that you won't be ready for. If you understand what I mean. Because when you're at a spiritual level where you're at peace, you ain't afraid of death. You ain't afraid of what kind of things that the world can do to you. And there's no reason to be. This place is only temporary to begin with. I think everybody knows that. We're here for like a blink of an eye. We're here for like a breath, man. I mean, when you look at all of time, all of history, we're so brief. It's like we turn a page over and we're gone. We shouldn't be living for the world in the first place. We should be living for our eternal home. Our eternal home, guys. That's where our focus should be. And helping others get there. Because there's a lot of people that are hurting in this world. A lot of people that are lost. A lot, guys. So go into the times ahead. Go into them strong. And be ready to lift your brother up. Be ready to lift your sister up. Be ready for the sake of others, not just for you. But be at a strong spiritual point where you can be somebody else's crutch and not be another person crawling on the ground, not knowing what to do, in utter confusion, in agony. Because it doesn't have to be that way. No matter what the world does, guys, we can be strong. Because God enables us to be strong if we put our trust in Him. Make no mistake about that. Alright guys, I'm going to cut this video off though. I hope y'all have a good rest of your day. I'll get these last couple of videos I've made uploaded, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys all later. Undercover Pepper out.